Hello and welcome to one of a series of presentations intended to provide you with guidance on the Veterinary Medicines Digital Service. This particular presentation focuses on how to register to open a business account. So who can use the Veterinary Medicines Digital Service? This service is for use by MA holders, that's holders of marketing authorisations and other licensing certificates, including animal test certificates. It's also for use by holders of manufacturing authorisations and holders of wholesale dealer authorisations. So who else can use this service? This service can be used by consultants and agents acting on behalf of other companies. In this circumstance, consultants cannot register independently and must be invited by a company that they are doing work for to join their company account. The service can also be used by holders of active substance master files. In this case, holders of active substance master files should register as a manufacturer so that they can use the secure messaging part of the service to submit their documentation. The service is not for use by veterinary professionals unless they're applying for a particular type of ATC, known as an ATCS. It's not for use by pet owners or for members of the general public wanting to report a suspected problem with an animal medicine or microchip. Before a company can use the service, they must apply to open a company account. Accounts are per company, such as MA holder, manufacturer or wholesaler. We do appreciate that some companies do perform more than one function. So, for example, there could be a combined site that performs both manufacturing and wholesale functions. In this sort of scenario, please just choose one when you're registering. The first person to open an account on behalf of a company will become the account's primary administrator. That person will be responsible for managing the account on behalf of the company and inviting other people into the account so that they can use the service on behalf of that company. If you are a consultant or agent who does work on behalf of a number of companies, you cannot register independently. You must be invited by a company that you're doing work for to join their account. So this means that you may be invited into more than one company account, and that's absolutely fine. The service will recognise consultants, which will help ensure that you're only able to see and you're only given access to the information and parts of the service that you're permitted to use and see. So therefore, if you're doing work on behalf of a company, please contact that company and ask them to invite you into their account. So when you first click on that link that's shown on the first slide to access the service, you'll be taken to a home page which contains lots of information and guidance, which is very useful, especially if you haven't accessed the service before, so I do encourage you to read it. On that page will be this green button that says Access Service. Click on here to start your registration journey. So once you access the service, you'll be taken to this page where you can either sign into your account. This obviously is where you've already opened an account and are currently registered, or you can apply to open a business account. So if you click on the link in the second paragraph, apply for a business account, you can continue your registration journey. So you've now clicked on the apply for a business account link and it's taking you to this page. On this page, it tells you about who can apply to open a business account, what you can do once you've got an account, and actually what you need before you start. So as the primary administrator, you are going to need some information to enable the registration process. So as the primary administrator, you'll need the following information in order to proceed with the registration process. You'll need the company number or site number if you're an existing holder. Therefore, if you already hold authorisations, you should have this information available to you. So as the holder of a licensing certificate, for example, a marketing authorisation or an animal test certificate, you would have been assigned a unique company number the first time you got an authorisation. This number forms the first part of the authorisation numbers that are assigned to your products and your certificates. Again, if you're the holder of a manufacturer or wholesaler, the first time you received a certificate, you were being given a site number. A site number is prefixed with a capital S followed by a 4-digit number. So, for example, S1234. So for existing holders of authorisations, you'll already have a company number or a site number. If you don't have this information, because you haven't yet got an authorisation, please leave this field blank. You'll also need to provide the official company address, and this is the address that either already appears in your authorisation documentation or that you want to appear on your authorisation documentation. Now please note, once you've entered the official business address into your registration, into your account, you won't be able to amend it. Any changes to the address or name must be done via a variation as per normal procedures. As an MA holder, if you're in the process of updating your official business name and or address, say for example there's been a company merger or a takeover, please register using the old details. This information will be updated by the VMD once all variations have been submitted and approved and the new information is reflected on all your product authorisations. You'll also need to provide the name and contact details of a colleague who can verify your identity and confirm your connection with the company. And this is again a simple check for the VMD just to ensure that you are the person that you say you are and that you can actually act on behalf of that company. So at the start of the registration process, you'll be asked to identify the type of business that you want to open an account on behalf of. So here I've clicked on Marketing Authorisation Holder. Once I click on that option, another screen will appear asking me to enter the unique company number, if I have one. If I do have one, I need to put it here in this field. If I don't have one, I can leave it blank. Or I may click on the option of manufacturer or wholesaler. Again, if I click on either of these two options, a screen appears asking me now to enter the site number. Again, if I have one. If I have a site number, I need to enter it into this field, and if I don't have one, I can leave it blank. So now you need to provide details about the business and the name and address of the business that you're wanting to register. So here you simply need to include the name of the business and the address. And again, this is the official business name and address that you want to appear or does already appear on your authorisations. And now we just want some information about you as the primary administrator. So here, please provide your full name, your telephone number and your email address. And on this page, you need to provide details of the person that you've chosen to act as your referee, i.e. the person that's going to verify your identity and your connection to the company. So here, please provide the full name, telephone number, email address and the person's position in the company. If you don't provide this information and when are unable to verify your identity and connection to the company, then your registration request may be rejected. So after you've provided details of the referee, you'll be asked to read our terms and conditions and then tick a box to say that you accept them. So just before you submit your request to open a company account, you'll be shown this summary page. So this basically summarises all the information that you provided to us. From here, you are able to change any of the information before you actually submit it to us. So once you're happy that you've provided all the information is correct, you hit the continue button and your registration request is submitted to the VMD. This is the page that you'll be shown. It gives you a unique reference number, and this is the number you should use if you ever need to contact the VMD about your registration request. And once you've submitted your request to the VMD, you will receive an email from us just confirming that we've received your request. Again, it confirms what the reference number is that you should use in any communication with the VMD about your request, and also it just reminds you to give us a couple of days so we can perform the verification checks to make sure you are who you say you are and that you can act on behalf of the company. So what happens next? Within a couple of days of submitting your request, you will receive an email telling you if your request has been successful, i.e. approved or rejected. Please check your spam folder in case the email has gone into there. If your request has been approved, you'll be given a link in that email that enables you to create your sign-in details, i.e. an email address and password. And this is the information that you'll need every time you sign into the service. So here is an example of the type of email that you'll receive if your application to register a business has been approved. This slide simply shows you what you'll see. So every time you go in to sign into the service, you'll be asked to provide your email address and your password. So now you're registered, so every time you sign in to use the service, you'll be taken to this home page, which allows you to access different parts of the service. One of the most important parts of this home page is the account section. So as the primary administrator, the account section enables you to now manage the account. You can now start to invite users into that account. So you might send a request to a colleague to join the account, asking them to register so that they can use the service on behalf of your company. So once you enter the account section of the service, this is what you'll see. You'll be able to see all your details and all businesses that you're associated with. Now, as the primary administrator for the business called Shilling Limited, which I've just registered, I'm able to go in here now and start to invite users into my account, change users, assign permissions, etc., which is what I'm going to do. Before we do that, if you look at the bottom of this page, there's also a link to say what users can do, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So as the primary administrator for Shilling Limited, I've clicked on the link View and Change Users, and this is the page it takes me to. So from here, I can now invite people in to use my account. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on the Invite New User button. So I've clicked on the Invite New User button, and this is the page that I'll see. So I'm now able to invite colleagues or other users into my account. So I simply put in their name, their telephone, optional, and their email address. Here I can also assign the permissions that I want to allocate to this user. So do I want to give them access to adverse event reporting? Do I want to give them access to licensing? And if I do want to give them access to licensing, how much access do I want to give them? And again, this is where the whole consultant thing comes in. I may want to give users a limited permission accessibility into my account. So once I've completed all of that, I can send the invitation. So this part of the account section allows me to see what users can do, so what different types of users there are and what those users can do. So as a primary administrator, as you've just seen, I can now invite users into my account and I can give them different permissions. As what we would call a normal user, someone who's been invited into account, it tells me what I can do under that role. It also explains a bit more about the limited view user, and this is where we've given consultants or agents acting on behalf of companies limited access to different accounts. So we've come to the end of the registration process, and I hope you found that helpful. If whilst you're registering a company account you come across some technical difficulties or something isn't working, please report that to the VMD using this link here, the online service desk, and we'll be able to help you. If you have more of a business type query or you want to just find out what's happening with your request, please contact the relevant business area. So for example, if you're an MA holder or the holder of other licensing certificates such as ATCs, etc., if you have a query about your registration request, please contact a member of the licensing administration team at the following email address: s.response@vmd.gov.uk. If you're wanting more information about registration requests to do with a manufacturer or a wholesaler, please contact a member of the Inspections admin team at the following email address: inspections@vmd.gov.uk. Thank you for listening.